There's something oddly captivating about the way language bends and twists, especially when it's meant to trip you up. Tongue twisters are more than just playful nonsense. They're linguistic puzzles that expose the fragility of speech. When you translate a tongue twister, you're not just converting words. You're translating the very rhythm and sound that makes it tricky. It's like trying to translate a riddle while keeping the riddle intact. This is where translation becomes an act of interpretation, not just of meaning, but of sound, of culture, of the very human struggle to articulate the inarticulable. So what happens when you try to translate a tongue twister? It's not just about words. It's about rhythm, about the physicality of language, about how we use our mouths to shape thought. It's a test of language, of memory, of control. And when you translate it, you're not just making a new tongue twister. You're making a new kind of puzzle, one that speaks across cultures, across time. So what exactly are we talking about? Tongue twisters are more than just playful phrases. They're linguistic puzzles that test our ability to manipulate sound and meaning simultaneously. They expose the fragility of language, revealing how easily words can trip us up when the rhythm or sound clashes with our mental framework. The challenge lies in preserving the rhythm and the difficulty of the original, which often disappears when translated into another language. This is where translation becomes a kind of art, not just a science, where we must choose between accuracy and the poetic essence of the original. Understanding tongue twisters in translation requires us to look beyond words and consider the deeper mechanics of how we process language. These tongue twisters are more than playful wordplay. They are a window into how language shapes thought. When we stumble over a phrase, it reveals something about the limits of our cognitive processing. Translation is a kind of cognitive dance, and these twisters expose the fragility of that dance. A single misplaced consonant can twist meaning completely. You should care, because understanding these tricks makes you more aware of how language can be used to mislead or misrepresent. It's not just about fun, it's about control. These twisters are a microcosm of the larger challenges in communication. If we can't even agree on the pronunciation of a few words, how do we expect to agree on the meaning of a sentence? And that's why, in a world full of noise and distortion, being aware of these linguistic quirks can help you listen more carefully, think more deeply, and speak more clearly. The origins of tongue twisters are tangled in the roots of language itself. They emerged as playful, yet dangerous tests of fluency across cultures and centuries. In medieval Europe, they were used in schools to train young scribes, ensuring precision in pronunciation and rhythm. These weren't just games. They were tools of discipline. As languages evolved, so did the complexity of these twisters. They became a mirror of linguistic diversity, reflecting the phonetic quirks and cultural nuances of each tongue. In the 19th century, tongue twisters found their way into popular entertainment. They were parodied in print, performed on stage, and eventually immortalized in the modern oral tradition. Today, their role has shifted again. They're not just for fun anymore. They're used in linguistics, speech therapy, and even artificial intelligence to test the limits of language processing. And so, the tongue twister, once a simple trick, has become a powerful, persistent symbol of the human struggle to master and express language. Imagine you're trying to say, "She sells seashells by the seashore," but the words just won't work. It's like your tongue is stuck in a loop, and no matter how hard you try, you can't get out. Now imagine you're trying to translate that line into another language. The words don't fit the same way. It's like trying to put a square peg into a round hole. The shape just doesn't match. Translating tongue twisters is like trying to solve a mystery. You have to guess what the original words meant, even when they don't sound right in the new language. But here's the cool part. When you finally get it right, it feels like you've unlocked a secret. The words flow, and the trick works, even if it's not the same trick as before. So, even though the words don't always match, the magic of the tongue twister stays. It just changes shape, like a shadow that moves with the light. A tongue twister isn't just a playful phrase. It's a linguistic puzzle designed to trip up the speaker. Its structure relies on repetition, alliteration, and rhythm to create a sense of control, which makes the challenge all the more deceptive. The setup is critical. It's the foundation upon which the trickery is built. It must be simple enough to be memorized quickly, yet complex enough to be challenging to say fluently. The setup also creates a psychological expectation. The listener believes they are hearing a straightforward sentence, which makes the eventual breakdown more surprising and disorienting. This is where the illusion begins. The setup lulls the speaker into a false sense of security, making the inevitable stumble feel like a natural consequence rather than a trick. The first step, then, is not just to say the phrase. It's to be seduced by its structure, to believe in its simplicity, and to be unprepared for the complexity it hides. The second step is the internalization of the rhythm. Once the tongue twister is learned, the speaker must memorize its cadence, which becomes a mental echo, shaping how the phrase is articulated. This rhythm is often tied to a meter or a beat, making the phrase feel like a song, even if it's not musical. The body and mind synchronize to the flow. The tongue twister structure is designed to resist easy articulation. It's not just about the words. It's about how they are arranged to challenge the speaker's coordination. This resistance is what makes it so effective. It's not just about pronunciation. It's about control, precision, and the limits of human speech. When translated, these patterns often break, revealing how language shapes thought, and how the tongue twister is more than just a joke. It's a test of language itself. The clever twist lies in how the original tongue twister is manipulated, not just translated. It's not about finding an exact match, but about reshaping the sentence to preserve its rhythmic and phonetic essence. This reshaping often involves substituting sounds or reordering syllables in a way that feels natural in the target language. It's a delicate balancing act between fidelity and fluency. Sometimes, the twist is so subtle that it only becomes apparent when you compare the original and the translated version. It's like a secret shared between speaker and listener. Ultimately, the clever twist is about crafting a linguistic puzzle that feels both familiar and surprising. A bridge between languages that doesn't just translate, but transforms. At the core of these tongue twisters lies a fascinating interplay between language and the brain. When we try to speak fast, our brain struggles to keep up, leading to slips and stumbles that reveal more about cognition than mere playfulness. Studies show that the brain's motor cortex and language centers are in constant dialogue during speech, and when the rhythm or structure of a phrase becomes too complex, the brain momentarily loses its grip, causing the tongue to misfire. These slips aren't random. They're the brain's way of trying to reorganize the task, often leading to unexpected word substitutions or phonetic distortions that reveal how language is processed in real time. In translation, the same neural mechanics apply. The brain tries to map one language to another, and when the structure of a sentence is too dense or rhythmically awkward, it falters, just like in the original tongue twister. This is why tongue twisters, even when translated, often lose their original challenge. The brain's processing power is the real obstacle, not the language itself. Imagine a world where your native language is a locked door, and translation is the key. But sometimes, that key doesn't just open the door. It rattles the walls, shakes the foundation, and leaves you wondering if you're in the right room. Tongue twisters are like that key, simplistic in form, yet complex in effect. They test the limits of our linguistic muscles, but in translation, they expose the fragility of meaning and the weight of context. The beauty of this process lies not in perfection, but in the revelation of what language can and cannot carry across cultural and linguistic boundaries. It's not just about words. It's about the weight of sound, the rhythm of meaning. In the end, translation is not about finding the exact equivalent. It's about finding the equivalent that works. And sometimes that means accepting that some words are meant to be twisted, not translated. So let's embrace the absurdity, the challenge, the joy of translation. For in the midst of all that confusion, we find clarity, just not in the way we expected. Before you go, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And tell us in the comments what you'd like us to make next. We read every single one. Thank you so much for watching. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end.